yourselves back to the channel. I'm here to preview the England versus Italy game and the first qualifier for the Euros. A big test for England, obviously, because in the last Euros we were beaten by Italy. Obviously, teams have changed. People have retired. People have been, all that sort of stuff. No Rashford, no Mason Mount, and no Nick Pope. No Alexander-Arnold, and no Callum Wilson. The latter two obviously just genuinely weren't selected because Wilson wasn't. I think he wanted to give Tony more of a chance in comparison to Wilson. And obviously, Sterling has not travelled either. I don't know if he'll be picked ahead of Rashford. But of course, my picks for the team are my own opinions. So if you got your own opinions, let me know down below. I'm going to give you my score prediction and obviously go from there. I will be reacting to the result on Friday morning. So be sure to check that out, of course. The game will be tomorrow evening. So my starting lineup for England, I'm just going to be going with the one that I think is the strongest. And this is from an England perspective. And that's how you should look at it, not from a club perspective. Jordan Pickford, 100% has to be keeper tomorrow. He was brilliant and valuable against Italy in the Euros last time. He has that confidence against these teams. People who say Aaron Ramsdale, yes, he's a good Arsenal keeper, but the defense in front of him is fantastic. England defense are going to be any. I guarantee you, if you put Maguire and Stones in front of Ramsdale, he could still do a good job. But I think Pickford, until maybe Everton get relegated or until he makes a lot of mistakes, Pickford should always be number one. I don't think he. I don't think he deserves it. Kane doesn't get replaced, and he had a lot of bad games, but you would never replace him because he is reliable. So yeah, my pick is Jordan Pickford, 100%. It's not even a question. He's the best England keeper. I'm not saying he's the best keeper, but he's the best England keeper. Right back has to be Reece James, without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, you can have arguments with Kyle Walker, but I think what Reece James does is defensive, attacking. He's brilliant on all fronts. I mean, Walker is as well, but my personal opinion is Reece James. Centre backs have to be John Stones and Harry Maguire. A very good link up centre back partnership for England. I think they're the best options we have. There are other centre back options. People keep saying Tomori and this sort of stuff. Again, you can't just throw these players in the deep end. He would be on the bench regardless. It's all about that seniority and a couple of youth players who will come in, like your Gallagher's, Tony. I mean, Tony's not young, but obviously he's not played many minutes for the England team, if any. Left back has to be Luke Shaw, 100%. Then you move it to the midfield. It's going to be Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, and technically, I personally would play Foden in the cam because I think you get the best of both worlds. You get to play where I'm going to stay on left wing, but of course, Foden would operate perfectly. Off the top of my head, Conor Gallagher's traveling. And Hendo. So I think in theory you would have to play Rice, Bellingham, and Foden. Or Madison. Madison. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Right. Rice, Bellingham, and Madison. I would have Foden or Madison. You can pick either or, but I think he'll go on Madison because I think everyone sees Foden more as a winger now. But again, if you do that, you lose Foden because Grealish has been better this season. And he's better for England, Grealish, as well. So I'm taking both factors into account. So Grealish would be my left winger. Obviously, you could... Here's the argument. Because obviously Rashford has dropped out. Grealish brings a lot more to the game than Rashford, but Rashford's a better goal scorer. That's what people have to understand. And this is why they work so well. You can have Rashford on for certain games. He would get you goals. Grealish would probably work better in your harder games like Italy and stuff. But on against Ukraine and stuff, Rashford would be amazing because he would get you those goals, but when Harry Kane isn't. But of course, I think Grealish, Harry Kane, and Bukayo Saka have to be the front three. It's a very solid front three with a very solid three behind. And I think a very fantastic back five. I think that's the strongest team you'll get. And then you bring Tony off the bench, Foden, Gallagher or Henderson. And then you've got Walker, Chilwell. You've got your centre-backs in Guai. And then obviously Ramsdale would play the Ukraine game. Again, this is about rotation. If he does it perfectly, he's got a very good selection for the second game. And I think Tony should start against Ukraine. And I'll talk about that for the Ukraine game when obviously we get to it. But of course, scoreline wise, I think we have potential to win. Again, I haven't seen the Italy team. They have some brilliant players. I believe Scamacca plays for him. He's a brilliant striker. Um, but I think it depends if he's been called up. Chiesa, one of the best wingers in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. He is fantastic. You know, he's had injury issues recently, but prior to that, you could hardly put anyone above him. You know, obviously he's a left wing. I'd put Vinicius and Mbappe above him, and he's in the top five, I think, of left wingers in the world. He transforms Italy. I think if he plays this game, it could be a different story. If he links up well with Scamacca, Jorginho, and whoever else is involved. So I'm going to go with 2-2. I think I was going to say 2-1 originally, but now I'm thinking of certain players being involved who genuinely might not be involved, but I think there will be a couple of goals in this from either side. So I'm going to go 2-2 of Italy and England. I'm excited to watch this. Obviously, been watching Man United so much. It's good to get a bit of a break from them and obviously see what like Shaw's doing for the team. I think Shaw is the only United lad that's travelled, and Harry Maguire. So yeah, two defensive options. Excited for Maguire to get some minutes as well. And obviously, this team could be entirely wrong, but of course, that's why it's my opinion and prediction. Of course, let me know down below in the comments your predictions for the game. And obviously, as I said, I'll review the game Friday morning once the game has wrapped on Thursday night. I'll see you then. Until next time, subscribe like as always. Goodbye.